concentrated on creating some sort of an image that's going to get Googled, okay, whether that be engaging in some good conversations and posting some blogs, or doing something where your name is showing up on a volunteer list for something, okay? Because granted, it's out there, but eventually it will go down far enough that people won't find it. But the other thing too is you got to face up to it. You got to admit. And so there's nothing wrong with, in your repertoire of car star stories, whatever you call that, as you're in an interview process, you need to be able to own up to whatever that mistake was, and you need to be able to explain it, and you need to be able to show what you learned from it. And while the internet may not allow you a lot of opportunity, you might get excluded, there are a lot of great employers out there that will help you get paid, that will still look at what your track record is and what your skill set is, and give you a chance to explain that.
So you have a particular resource in mind somewhere where people can go to learn about different ways in which they can bump a bad entry and rebound?
I don't have it right here off the top of my head, but I definitely do. So if there's somebody here in that, I do have business cards. You guys also have my information. Please feel free to contact me, because I know in my computer I've got some of that information. Okay?
I don't
Andy?
want this to be too specific, but in my case, I Google myself, I've got all my nice stuff, and then there's an Andrew C. Morris, which is one letter off, but has like a pedophile face. And what do I do about that?
Well, first of all, is there a C in your name? Are you Andrew C?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Change your name. I'm just kidding. The only thing you can do about that is you can, unfortunately, that might come back.
Just keep saying it's with an A.
Yeah.
It's not Morris.
It might come back, and you're going to have to be prepared to face that again.
If you get to the interview, the face-to-face, then obviously none of that has either popped up yet. But then I might say that as like a kind of a cute closing. Just so you know, as you're checking my references and all my background stuff, I gotta warn you, there's a gentleman that has a similar spelling name that is not me, okay. And he's kind of scary. I would say that's nice, kind of whimsical, fun closing, and then I would ask him. I say this lightly, but I mean it seriously, because the guy's really scary, and if you could pass this on to all the people that are going to be doing my screen checking, because I might outsource that.
Perfect.
Then I would do that. If you got to the face-to-face, they haven't come to it, or it wasn't an issue, but I would use it if it is, because I have heard of this before. People being like yourself.
Well, couldn't believe the same middle initial and everything. I'm like, that's just.
Some people have the same exact spelled name.
Sure.
As someone that is a real bad person, and they it does hinder them.
Just imagine if,
you have to be upfront with it in the interview and make sure that they check mark it on your interview sheet that there is.
Somewhere there's another Jeffrey Dahmer somewhere. That name is.
Poor guy, yeah.
Really. So, thank you.
Well, to interject, you would think that a professional who's looking at your records, if they saw that, there are means on the internet to verify that.
There are.
They go to Wisconsin court records. Any of us can do it. You can go there. You can look at somebody's birthday. You can look at their last names or else. And if they're responsible professionals in the business of hiring people, it's incumbent upon them to verify a person just discarding the individual.
Absolutely.
And I hope they would do
But
that.
sometimes a lot of firms outsource that.
Okay. Well, you think outsourcers would do it?
Yeah, you'd think.
Is it good for you?
Do you want to flip?
And if worse comes to worse,
Which
use
one is
your full
full
name.
then?
I mean, use your first and middle name. Differentiate.
Yep.
If you
I
need to.
might just put in my middle name because of that.
Yeah,
But
I mean-
something's skin in my picture.
I would still bring it up though.
And then bring it up, I mean, but that might keep some of that, I'm just thinking off the top of my head that might help keep some of that somewhat.
It's all being upfront. It's all owning it or not owning it, but
Differentiate.
being aware. And
Sure.
so now the fourth secret. Okay. And this is the thing that, now we're talking about social media. Guess what? You really can find a job on social media. You really can, using social media. First of all, those of you that are doing the LinkedIn, and I'm not going to, we're talking about it literally this much tonight. There's the job boards on LinkedIn. There are the groups. There are companies now on LinkedIn that you can follow a company and they have job postings, okay? So, and Wayne will talk about that in great detail in 2 months. Again, if I didn't say it yet, if you didn't hear it the first time, come on December 15th. It will be the best 2 hours or hour that you will have ever spent. Thank you. So now this is a look of a Twitter feed. And I want to show you about why some of the reasons, this is my personal Twitter feed, and this is from 3 days ago. So it's pretty live, up to date. And I want to show you a couple of things up here that are really cool about Twitter. I follow a whole lot of neat people. I follow people that are industry experts, not only in social media, but in job search. I follow industry leaders in writing. I follow people that are not industry leaders, but that they want to be industry leaders. There are a lot of great career people out there on Twitter and on Facebook that we can learn an awful lot from. The very first guy up there happens to be one of my personal heroes, and I was so excited that it popped up that I could show this to you. Guy Kawasaki. Guy Kawasaki he's on Twitter 24/7 all the time. Amazing man. He just wrote a book. I happened to actually get a chance to spend some quality one-on-one time with him in June in Miami. It was the coolest thing. The name of his book is Enchantment. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because this is about how to be enchanting to your prospective employer, to your existing employer, to your friends. These are things that we need to learn as we're trying to sell ourselves. Okay? So the purpose of me having that one, I was so excited when I saw that because I could really push this book. There's one thing in here. The greater your goals, the more you'll need to change people's hearts, minds, and actions. This is especially true if you have few resources and big competitors. So here we are, job seekers. Tons and tons of people fighting for the same job. So what you need to do is you need to wow them, you need to sell them. And one of the ways you can do that is to be involved in social media and to show that you're a thought leader. To post articles. The second person up there, Kate, she is an HR professional. She's a writer, she's got blogs, she's involved in all sorts of stuff. You'll notice up there she's actually referring to somebody and she's got an article that she's linking to. One of the best things you can do on social media, whether it's on LinkedIn or whether it's on Facebook or whether it's on Twitter, is to actually send information, to post information that's going to help somebody else. Something that shows that you know what you're looking, that you're doing research, that you're a thought leader, but something that somebody else is going to get something out of. Okay? I've also got, a little bit further down, I've got Publicity Guru. He's a marketing guy. Pretty interesting. Kodak CB. That's a company on Twitter. They have a Twitter page. A lot of companies are on Twitter, and I'll show you that in a moment. So there's some information there. Wendy Turwelp. She's a Milwaukee woman. Have any of you ever been to any of Wendy's speak? Really? So you haven't? Okay. She is you have?
I know Wendy.
Oh, you know Wendy. Okay. She's involved in social media. She's also involved in job seekers. She's got an article that she posted up there, Digital Job Search and Social Networking Tips You Can Apply Immediately. And it says bit.ly. That's a hyperlink to an article. And I think it's to maybe one of her blog posts, but again, good quality information to keep you engaged so that as a job seeker, you can be learning what's going on out there, and you can be posting that information. You can be retweeting that. Okay, we're not going to talk about how and what, we're not going to talk about the how-tos of Twitter. We're talking more broad strokes tonight. Okay, can you, thank you. Oh, do we have sound? No. Okay, so I will talk about what this guy's doing. First of all, well, it's a 52-second YouTube video. Just watch him for a second. Just watch him. Don't even worry. What he's talking about is he's talking about how to sell yourself and how to close the deal. It's a 52-second, look at, he's got a beautiful smile, he's got beautiful eyes, he is engaging, he's in a beautiful background, he's a job seeker. 52-second little YouTube video that he's selling about how to close a deal. And you can see he's enthused. He's showing all the good points of himself. So he's got this YouTube video, and you know where he posted? It's on his LinkedIn. Okay, it's on his LinkedIn profile. He's forwarded it. He's got the hyperlink to it on his resume. Okay? He's got actually a whole series of these. There's at least 5 or 6 of them that are quick little, and they're little, quick. You know, he's obviously got a decent camera, but you can do it with your camera on your laptop. You can do it, have somebody else take a little video of you. Real easy to download, and real easy to post out there. The main part of his speech that I really liked about this, that I wish we could have heard, was you have to ask for the sale. You got to ask for the sale. So as a job seeker, he's asking for the sale. He's selling himself as a marketing person, but then he's asking for the sale. So my swing along for this is when you're in an interview, and we talked about this with, I think this morning on a Thursday Plus meeting, or Thursday, 40 Plus meeting on Thursday. What you want to do is you need to ask for the sale. You need to ask, is there any reason why you might not want to hire, or do you see any reasons, any issues on why we can't move forward in this interview process? Gee, I really would like this job. Why not? So he's doing it, and he's got this video out there. And so I think it's something, YouTube, great way to sell yourself, especially if you're in marketing. There's some, but even if you're not in marketing, there's something that you do. Michael, what do you do?
Sales.
Okay. So.
But not recently.
Okay, but you are a salesperson, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you must have some art of the sale thing that you know on how to close a sale, or you must have something about something that you do, some little trick that you do to get into somebody's door, in theory, right? So why not make a 30-second, 1-minute YouTube video? I realize I'm just talking broad strokes now, but where you're out there and you're explaining to somebody and you're giving them a little tip on how to do it. Okay?
You might take my job. But I might get.
You know what? You've given somebody information, though. So you've given. Darlene, what do you do?
I do 2 things. I'm a geriatric LPN. Also, I'm a freelance writer and photographer.
Can anybody hear my wheels rolling here? She's a photographer. Where should she be posting her work? On Flickr, which is a job photo, it's a photo sharing site. She could have a link to it on her LinkedIn. Okay, sending her to Flickr. If you got a Facebook page, you should be having, or your own Facebook thing, you should be having some pictures of yourself that you've taken, posted out there. Not of you, but you know what I mean, your own pictures. Okay, it's not that hard. Sell yourself. Use social media tools to do that. Okay, so here is one of the great things about Twitter. Again, I talked about Twitter, everybody thinks it's like little, blips of garbage. There's some really great quality stuff here. On your sheet, you're going to see that there are these things called chats. Here it is. See that pound sign in front of job hunt chat? That's called a hashtag. You use a hashtag to search on Twitter. Okay? You can search for anything on Twitter putting that hashtag first. Hashtag engineering, hashtag photography, hashtag child photography, hashtag childcare. It doesn't matter. You can put that. Okay? In this case, I think it's on Mondays, job hunt, Monday night, 9 p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. There is a chat that goes on in this Twitter stream, and I don't know if you can see that, but if you look under Levi Recruits, he's got the hashtag, he's got a whole bunch of stuff that says the pound sign job hunt chat. Okay, that puts him in the Twitter stream. What he's doing right there is, well, he's talking about coupons there, but if you keep looking down a little bit, Vizier Analytics, 5 tips for getting noticed and landing that job. So that's an article about that might be helpful to us about how to land a job. Okay? Being involved in a chat like that, you can talk about your job hunt experiences. You can get tips from people, from recruiters. There are also, anybody here an engineer? There's engineering chats, okay? Where you can go on there and you can be chatting with engineers from all around the country about engineering stuff, whatever, you know, I'm not an engineer, so. But you could be talking about engineering stuff, and you could be showing that you are an intelligent thought leader by being on there. Now, granted, that takes a little bit of work. You got to be thinking ahead of time. You got to have a couple tools up your sleeve. You got to be prepared. Just like you go into an interview and you're prepared with your car star source stories, right? You're prepared for answering the questions. You go to one of these chats. You prepare to provide something of value. Next one, more Twitter. You can also search for jobs on Twitter. Yes. I did a hashtag search up at the very top. On the very top, there's a Twitter and a little birdie thing. Engineering jobs. Results for engineering jobs. And look at, what do I see? AT&T jobs has a Twitter site. They have people that send out tweets with jobs. From the network to apps and emerging devices, AT&T is looking for techies like you. And there's a link to find out more about their jobs. Marie Claire has just some general information about engineering. All engineer jobs, senior test engineers. Now that's in London. Okay, there's one in India, there's one in Malaysia. If I had a longer print screen, there'd be a whole lot more. Over on the right, up at the top, people results for engineering jobs. Booz Allen, isn't that a recruiting firm? No, maybe, I don't know. Career Builder, engineering. This is where you can actually be connecting with people that are the recruiters, that are the companies themselves, okay? You can find out who they are, you can follow them, and you can be engaged in a conversation with them, okay? Now we go to Facebook. Those of you that are on Facebook, how many of you like any pages, any company pages? Not too many. Just like you can have, you know how you have your Facebook friends? You can actually like a business page. And in this particular situation, I did a search on healthcare. The first one is healthcare lawsuits. Okay, fine. Healthcare, were you dissing Canada? I couldn't hear. Okay, that's probably a political one. Healthcare reform is there. Career Builder, healthcare jobs. Healthcare for America Now. Ministry Healthcare, Aurora Healthcare. All of those companies, all those organizations have their own page. And on their page, you can have a conversation with the people. They might post something. We talk a lot about fit for a job. At least in 40 Plus we do. I'm assuming we do here too. You talk about how you look for a job and how you get that interview, and you know they're hiring you because they like you, because you fit, because you match whatever that mold is that they've got. You may not know what that company's all about when you're walking in. You know, you do your research on LinkedIn, and that shows you kind of a sanitized look. You can do your research on by doing your networking, which is huge, you know, talking to people. You also get a really good feel about a company by looking and see what they say on social media. Looking and see how they handle a customer complaint. See if their values match yours. You can do the same thing with finding out about the people and see how the people respond. See if they're customer oriented. Okay? You can also do some research on Facebook. You know what happens is when a company invents something new or when they have some great announcement, they put it on their website, and that's great. And they might put it on LinkedIn, but you know where it goes? It goes on Facebook. How cool is that when you're researching a company and you find something about them on Facebook and you see that they've just created the next light bulb of the world, whatever. How cool is that to walk into an interview and have that information? Okay? Or how cool is that to see that they just won the top 50 businesses in the city of or in the state of Wisconsin, and it's something you can talk about. That kind of information is what's out there on Facebook. And then, of course, there's always the great job boards. There are job boards on Facebook, and Career Builders has a lot of them. Okay, I do know for a fact for LinkedIn, and I do know a fact for Facebook, that the jobs, that they post jobs on these that are not necessarily the jobs that they're posting other places. Kohl's department store, for an example, on LinkedIn, they post jobs on LinkedIn. Those are not posted anyplace else. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean all Kohl's jobs are not, I mean, they have Kohl's jobs other places, but the ones that are on LinkedIn are specifically for LinkedIn. So by having another place, even though it's only 6%, having another idea of how to get in, it's a really cool, it's a really nice idea. And Starbucks, who doesn't love Starbucks? Maybe. You don't love Starbucks? I gotta tell you, I had the most delicious salted caramel hot chocolate today. If you like hot chocolate and you like caramel, oh, it was so good. Anyway, Starbucks, Facebook, they have a place where you can go right away and you can even apply online. Just like on LinkedIn, there are places where you can apply online. You can do that on Facebook too. So, you know, I'm showing you some screenshots, but I wanted you to get the idea of some of the value of social media and some things you can find. So now I'm going to close up. I'm going to mention a couple things real quick, and then I've got time, hopefully, for a couple questions. Oh, okay. Secret number 5. When you're doing social media of any type, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, find out who the industry leaders are and follow them. This is one of them. Okay? Those of you that were, that are techies, Steve Jobs would have been somebody to follow. Okay? Marketing gurus, I have to be honest with you, I'm not really into marketing, I'm sorry. But Andy, I'm sure, is one of my marketing gurus now that I know him. And
Bill Kotler, follow him.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Those
I
are...
on LinkedIn too, which is kind of funny since I've never met the man. But,
Really?
he just accepted me.
Cool. There must have been something...
Good buzz.
There must have been something about your smile and your picture that did that. Read and subscribe to blogs. Okay? Google Reader has a great way that you can get things downloaded to come into email. And I know we're all overwhelmed. I know. But if you think about it, you pick 1 or 2 great bloggers and you get engaged in conversations with them, especially those that are really well known, and you can find them. You guys know how to look up stuff. You know how to look up jobs. You can find a blogger. Follow some bloggers, get involved, be a thought leader. Number 3, participate in groups, LinkedIn groups. You've probably heard this before. You need to get yourself out there, and you need to be sharing content and information. Do that through the groups. Do that through discussion boards.
Do you think you can have too many groups?
I think you can have too many groups because there's only so much time in the day. I belong to 50 groups, and I got to be honest with you, it's a waste. Seriously. I'm actively involved in about 8 groups. And different groups, different times, it can be overwhelming. So when you pick a group, do it and do it well.
I order mine what I think is important. You can hide your membership too.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't have to present, so you can still be a part of it, but it doesn't show up when you...
Absolutely. You can hide it, and you can also, and just like she said, you can order it so that way, when you only have time, the top 7 or the top 10 show and you get a chance to do it. And you also can tell whether a group is active or not. Okay? By the number of comments that are in there and the number of discussions and so on and so forth. There's some great groups on LinkedIn. Read questions and answers and answer them. Quora, Quora, is a relatively new social media site that's all about questions and answers. Quora. It's a great place to post a question to get an answer, but it's also a really great place to read if somebody's got a question that you know something about. If you've got a skill set, photography, you know, and there's a question about what kind of lens is the best lens, and you know what it is, respond to it. Give that information freely. And search for events. Facebook has tons of events. LinkedIn has tons of events. Networking, way to get yourself out there. So, does anybody have any questions? Phil?
What should I do with people who want to link with me on LinkedIn and I have no flying idea of the world?
Oh, is that such a timely conversation? Thank you. I love that question. Absolutely. So here's the deal, and this is my personal opinion. First of all, you need to know why you're on a social media site. What is your purpose? And if that person doesn't match your purpose, then why would you don't want to necessarily connect with them. When you get an invitation to connect, when somebody asks you to connect with them, those of you that are on LinkedIn, and Wayne's going to say this, I'm going to steal it first. When you invite someone to connect with you, make sure you tell them why and where you met them. Hi, Joe. No, Ben, sorry. Hi, Ben. So, well, 3 letters, and So Ben's gonna try to connect with me tomorrow. I know he is. He's thrilled. And Ben is going to say, "Hi, Sue. It was so nice to meet with you, and thanks for messing up my name." Okay, I'm going to remember who Ben is, and then he's also going to say, you know, "I'd like to connect with you. Is there anything if I can ever be of any help to you?" Ooh, somebody wants to help me? You and I are buds. Love it. But you know, that's what you want to do. When somebody asks to connect with you, don't be afraid to ask them why. Phil, don't be afraid to ask them why. And I just the other day, I turned somebody down, and what I said to them, and now I'm paraphrasing, but it was along the lines of, my rule of thumb is when someone asks to, you know, when I connect with someone, it's someone that I have met or spoken to.
I don't know if it even gives you that option.
Sure it does. Yes, it does. It does. Because when you get that LinkedIn, there's that button that says reply. You can accept. It also allows you to reply now without accepting. So you can reply to them and say, you know, I'd really like to meet you over a cup of coffee. Or why do you want it? What is it? Why are you interested in connecting with me?
Just like asking who are you?
Well, and you know what? And I've done that too. Remember what I said about my not remembering faces? If somebody doesn't have a picture on there, and I don't click with the name because I'm not really good with names, Joe, right? I won't forget that, I promise. But you know, I'm terrible with names, and so if I don't remember where I met somebody, and if they don't give me any clue, I certainly have no problem saying, "Did we meet somewhere?" And I don't mind saying my memory is really bad. Help refresh my memory. There's a clue. I certainly have no problem saying, "Did we meet somewhere?" And I don't mind saying my memory is really bad. Help refresh my memory. There's ways to do that, just like you would do it in real life. You know, social media, it's real life on steroids. It's real life. You do the same thing on social media, on LinkedIn, that you do. Any other questions?
So one thing
I'm
that
sorry.
Wayne says about that very thing is the key terminology in LinkedIn is your first degree connections are your trusted connections. Right. Trusted connections has to have some type of real meaning behind that, like Sue said, somebody you've met or somebody you know and have spoken with. So, I mean, I wouldn't just generically, like you said, that this guy just accepted you on LinkedIn without really meeting you. That's not a trusted connection, really.
Right. And there are people on LinkedIn that are called Lions, Lion, LinkedIn Open Networkers, and all they care about is just gathering numbers. Okay. The purpose of LinkedIn is to be sharing connections. So if that's what this person's doing, they can't be of a whole lot of service to you.
What's the best way to find job fairs in the area?
Ooh, great question. One way is Google job fairs in Milwaukee or career fairs in Milwaukee. That's one way. Another way is to go to Workforce Development because they have listings. Okay. Another way is go into LinkedIn events. Are you on LinkedIn? Okay. If you were on LinkedIn, you could go into LinkedIn events and you could type in the keywords career fair, job fair, Milwaukee. Those are just a couple of ways real quick. Do you have any?
One coming up, I believe it's next week at WCTC.
The 26th, isn't it?
At WCTC.
Okay.
You will see job fairs listed on MilwaukeeJobs.com. If you go to the Wisconsin State Job Board, you'll find them there too.
Right, and you have to go there for unemployment now, don't you? The Wisconsin.
I think they highly recommend it. I haven't been asked to do it, but
I think there's a new rule that went into effect, and I don't know the details, but if you're collecting unemployment, you need to be looking at and logging into some website, Wisconsin State website. Craig, do you know this thing?
No.
He'll find out, though, for you guys and tell you next month. I'm so good at delegating. I love delegating. But thank you, that's right. And then another thing, too, this was the WCTC job fair that's coming up on the 26th. I think it's from 10 until 2, noon till 3. Thank you. Go to Workforce Development, go to Workforce Development website, Waukesha County. There is a little side link to it. This is another one of those hints here. It will give you a list of the employers that are going to be there. Before you go, do your homework. Take a look and see what employers are going to be there. Go to their websites and see what kind of jobs they have available. And then target. Don't think you have to see all 30 employers. Target 4, 5, 2, 3, whatever it is.
What are the statistics, the numbers for people getting jobs through a job fair? I mean, like you said, LinkedIn is up there.
Know.
Wouldn't job fairs be pretty low on the totem pole?
They hire you on the spot sometimes. They offered to hire Ernie, but he's still working.
Did they?
well, I think there's some
Depends on
benefit
your
that you can make a good first impression to people too, which is one of the things we miss on a one-shot attempt on LinkedIn or anything, because you have to do it
You're
over
right.
time. So if you're well prepared and you have good credentials for the position and you dress up and you come there, you communicate effectively, they're going to take note of it.
Absolutely. And you get a name. You get a card from somebody, so you've got a contact into that organization for the future.
Not only that, but then what you can do is you can get them on a check-back list, any potential employer, where you're getting back a hold of them every 4 to 6 weeks, always asking permission. Is it okay if I make a phone call or send you an email? Should a position become available down the road that you're not currently aware of? The nice thing about job fairs is that many times those recruiters or department supervisors are right there. Why more jobs aren't gotten is because people just don't follow up on a consistent basis. And that's what they need to do. If I could, Sue,
Please.
You, ma'am, had mentioned about job fairs, finding job fairs online. If you Google Wisconsin college and university job fairs, there are so many quality employers that go to university job fairs or career fairs, as well as some of the smaller college job and career fairs. Once you find them, then what you want to do is call that college or university and find out if it's okay, if you can go, if you're not a student, a current student or an alum. If you're not, you ask that, they say yes, you're set to go. If they say no, then you can't get in. Perfect example, most of the university career fairs at UW-Madison are closed, they're just for students and alums, not outside folks. UW-Milwaukee, most of their fairs are open to the public.
And UW-Milwaukee just had a couple of great ones in the last 2 weeks.
They did.
And so, unfortunately, timing's a little late to tell you about that now, but keep your eye out because they will have another one probably, don't they have one like in January?
I think it's March.
March, okay.
It's early March, but all of the employers that were at the fair at Milwaukee, maybe some of the other early fairs, they're still available online. If you go to the Career Development Center, UW-Milwaukee, or Business Career Services, UW-Madison, you'll still find employers.
And another place to find about career fairs also is the Biz Times. Okay. So those are great places. Was there anything else? I know I tend to talk too long, so I apologize. apologize, I did that.
That's okay, Sue.
Anybody? Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Who's going to be available here after we take a break? We'll have some breakout sessions here right after we take a short break. I just wanted to make